everyone. Welcome to the March 17th meeting, St. Patrick's Day, TOWNSHIP Trustees. First item of business, call to order. We shall do that at 5 p.m. We'll now entertain a motion to adopt the minutes of March 3rd.
I so move.
I second.
And second, is there any additions, corrections to March 3rd meeting? Hearing none, may we vote, please?
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the minutes of March 3, 2025 as presented. Ms. Moyer?
Yes.
Mr. Hollister?
Oh, when you said 25, you confused me.
Sorry.
Yes.
Mr. Mutcher?
Yes.
Minutes are adopted.
So did you check the microphone, the green light?
I did turn it on.
Okay, cool, thanks.
I now entertain a motion to approve payment of bills in the amount of $68,266.29. Drive General Fund, $3,496. Cemetery Fund, $2,155.11. Fire Fund, $57,115.43. Will that cot never be paid for? Road Fund, $5,499.75.
I don't think that includes the car. It does. Oh, thank God.
Is there a motion?
I so move.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion regarding payment of these bills?
Well, since there's reference to the cot, I think that should be clarified. That the fire line, 57,000, et cetera, is a little larger than normal because we paid for a cot.
Was
It's
it
the same one that you passed a resolution to add funds to last meeting.
So was that the $30,000 payment?
Yeah.
Then that's,
And then payroll.
and then that was a very small payroll then. Okay, just checking.
That is the cot being a fancy
Power cot, yeah.
power cot for use getting in and out of the ambulance.
Hearing no additional comments, may we vote, please?
It's been moved and seconded to approve payment of bills in the amount of $68,266.29. Mr. Hollister?
Yes.
Ms. Moyer?
Yes.
Mr. Mutcher?
Yes.
Motion's approved.
Correspondence from the period. The only thing I have is correspondence from tech advisors. We're going to talk about that momentarily. Anyone else have correspondence that they'd like to bring up?
I just want to remind us that Jane Sweet had applied for the zoning commission, and then we had asked for a recommendation from Brian, and he gave us a glowing one. And I wonder where that is. Did we might have just dropped it. Maybe we could do that when Brian's here next week. Or we've had a couple of requests for.
Yep.
That's all.
Okay. We're going to, before we go to the rest of the agenda, we're going to stop for a moment. And Jeff, if you'd like to...
No, Bartley.
Oh, Bartley, I'm sorry. I didn't see that problem. Bartley, we'd like to welcome you to the meeting this evening. I believe we had a couple of questions that we wanted clarity on. If you
Do we want to have that now, or?
We'll have it now. From Tech Advisors Corporation.
I'm Bartley, and this is Spencer.
The last names, please.
Davis and George.
And where did I
Thank you.
stick my pile? What do you imagine, what volume of you said we have 13 devices, and our monthly bill is based on price per device for just everything combined. What's been your experience in general in terms of how often people have a call for a device?
For your size, I wouldn't say it's going to be like every day. It could be, but I wouldn't say that you're going to call all the time. But it's a matter of monitoring and making sure the system is healthy, and then you have a go-to person or team to work with to resolve any issues and have some IT oversight and give recommendations. So it's kind of a partnership in that sense.
So I'm imagining a lot of this you could do from off-site. You wouldn't have to come into the building. You could be...
Right. And I'm 5 minutes away, so.
And for, being very tech naive, I don't experience, I have a lot of problems, but not every day, not, and so I'm just trying to get a sense of how, you know, what were we doing before we had this service? How often did Denny have to tackle something?
What happened in the past and what happened in the future obviously are two different things. We're making a transition from the past into the future. Think of it kind of like we're buying insurance. It just sits there and it protects us when we have a collision or when we break our arm or something like that. We then call the people who take care of us and they fix us up. Now, with insurance company, you don't have a little car wreck every day. You don't break your arm every day, but when you do, you're covered for it. This is kind of like that, but there's a lot more on top of it. But in your question to how often people call and experience, that sort of triggers this idea about insurance. It's there for our protection.
If I can interject a little bit on that.
Yeah, and I'd like to say that they aren't simply a help desk, so maybe that's what you were going to say.
It's actually a combination of two things. First of all, I'd like to tell you, before you break your arm, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that.
I'm sorry, what? Before you break
your arm, I'd like to, we are also somebody who would say, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you shouldn't climb up to that branch in that tree or something like that before you break your arm. But additionally, we are a help desk there, so that if you are running into a problem, on a user level, you can call the help desk and they can actually coach you through that problem. So we are both at the same time. We can help you with that office application that you're having a problem with, that you can't figure out how to do something. We have a team that can coach you through that. And then also at the same time with the more technical things like security patches, updates, designing your infrastructure the way it needs to be in order to do your job, taking into consideration also the requirements for the fire department and the connectivity there, things like that. We can help you with all of that also with the engineering team along with the help desk.
And if there's a problem with the CAD system, we have multiple other municipalities that we service, and because it's part of the Greene County Consortium, if there's a problem globally, we would know. And we'd be able to tell the folks here, yeah, there's a global problem, so let's just hold off for a little while that's being handled. So it's not like you're spinning your wheels, why isn't this working? And we would know. We
have 4 other local governments or municipalities in Greene County that we deal with the CAD system and police and fire and everything currently.
Which are those?
There'd be Yellow Springs, Xenia Township, Sugar Creek, and Bellbrook.
What would be an example of what isn't covered?
Installations.
Yeah. At this particular level, everything on site would be covered if it's an existing configuration. And what I mean by that is it's a device that's already been put out in the field, it's configured, and it's working in the status or in the configuration that was meant to be configured and it was originally put in. Any new devices would be a chargeable event to get that configured and out there. But once it's out there, with the level that you guys are purchasing into here, anything we would have to do to that device after being put out there, there would be no charge for it for any changes or any maintenance on it.
Any break fix?
We were a little fuzzy on off-site storage.
Which part? Because there's several facets.
It's like all
of that.
all the fire and EMS data.
All that is in Tyler Tech's cloud.
Through you, or we're?
No, that's
we're
all
paying
through
separate.
Tyler Tech.
Okay.
It's those 2 VPN
All right.
devices
All
that
right,
you
that's
purchase for
what I was
$10,000.
wondering.
Yeah. That all lives in the Tyler Tech cloud, which I don't even know where the servers are. They could be in Chicago or
Mhm.
California, wherever they are.
Maybe 2 places for that matter.
And the 13 devices that we have that this would cover, does that include what goes in the ambulance?
The DTs.
Or just a smartphone?
Yeah, we would help with those. Absolutely.
Is that part of the count?
I'm not sure if we count those. I think we count those, so yes.
I still feel like they don't get a full picture of the services we need. It looks a little piecemeal. You're going to take a look at all of our computers, what they have on them, who's loaded what onto what computer, is it proper, is it protected, and you could say more. And there's also a backup of our
Yeah.
emails and.
Well, that's all things that we'll need to take a look at. There's some services that you'll need to purchase, like the backup and the archiving, to make you compliant.
The charge here does include your antivirus, malware protection, and things like that. It's included in the cost here. And that will also include a 24/7 monitoring with a security operations center in case something happens to any of the laptops or any for fire or anything like that, or someone gets an infection there. If it starts to break out, it'll actually have someone looking at that 24/7, trying to resolve that as soon as it happens.
But we really try very hard to prevent that from even happening in the first place, the outbreaks, just by doing best practices with IT and that sort of thing.
Hence stopping you from breaking your arm before you break it.
We're trying to get a feel of what overlap there is between your services and what we're getting now from Becca. You're not an internet service provider, or you are?
No.
That's not coming with...
We work with Spectrum, and we also work with Mabeka, I know Thor, and work with them over the village and with some other things. So I work with them quite a bit.
Can you think of any examples where there's an overlap which may be able to be separated?
Well, the separation is going to be with the network. So they manage your network, your Wi-Fi, the internet coming in. And the other parts that we would help with is the user experience, CAD, best practices for the network and your workstations, making sure all those things are healthy and working well.
And they wouldn't be providing that now?
I don't think that
That's
they
the
do.
question.
I don't think that they do. If they do, they don't have all the information, I don't think. I don't know to what level they support the user experience.
Well, I know that they do work with local governments.
But it's mostly the connection, and I think their bread and butter is also with education.
Yes, schools and libraries.
So Mabeka has offered us their help desk, but that's very, at least at this point, they're not looking at our whole system and say, hey, you guys aren't in compliance with this, or this is the practice you should adopt to do this, or looking at us holistically. They're just saying, hey, if what you call break fix. I think that's what they're offering us now is break fix. It doesn't mean they wouldn't offer something
And
different.
they have an hourly charge.
It's all covered under the plan that we're proposing.
In your case, that will all be covered. Yeah.
And we also want to partner with you to make sure that you're in compliance. The clerk is also in compliance with sunshine laws, all those things. We're taking that into the big umbrella, making sure that compliance is a big part of what we're providing to you.
And let's not lose sight of the fact that we started down this road for security. And I don't think Mabeka is providing that now because we've found that there's been holes in it. Right. And that's why we're talking with Tag advisors now.
If I have more questions, can I just call you?
Sure.
Or, well, maybe email is easier.
Sure. My email is bartley@techadvisors.us.
Yeah.
I need to be in slow motion on this, not decide tonight.
Yeah, we were good, okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, and my goal was not to come here to, force anything, it's just to answer your questions, so.
Mr. Fire, do you have any questions for them?
Any other firefighters have questions?
No, I don't, not right now. Thank you.
Well, there's a happy customer. Satisfied. Well, in that case, we will thank you for your participation this evening and your complete answers, and
Sure.
we will be in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We'll now ask if there's any public comments or agenda items for the evening. Public? Public is quiet. Nate?
On request for executive session involving personnel matters and compensation.
Well, that would be under fire department, which is where we're going right now. So, under fire department,
Yes.
what do you have?
So activity for the last couple weeks, so we've been on 36 runs, 2 MVCs, 2 fires, 26 EMS. We've received mutual aid once and we gave it once. And then we've been on 4 just general alarms, CO, smoke in the area, and things like that. On the bright side, our domestic water pump is fixed now.
Both units?
No, just the one.
Oh, okay.
So I was talking to our repair guy. He suggested that we hold off on the first one, on the other one, see how it does. He doesn't think that there's really anything wrong with it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
considering how long it
good.
took for our second one to come back, we
Yeah.
wanted to kind of both wait.
Yeah.
So that just came back a couple days ago. I think it was Thursday was when it finally came back. Tanker 82 is fixed, engine 82 is fixed, Mech 81 is currently out of service again.
Really?
Yeah. So it's got a coolant leak in it, and we've been chasing electrical issues with it again. So it'll have to go out to Atlantic to get fixed.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Who's out of permanent?
Medic 81, our older ambulance. So just to kind of put it on the board's radar, I'd like to propose for the next meeting to go back to our drug bag program. I feel it's going to save us an immense amount of money compared to what we're spending right now on medications. With the new update for the drug bag program, I think we're looking at minimum $1,500 to get started on that. This would cost us $1,000, and then after that, it's only at $200 a year, and that's what we're spending on. We're spending $200 on just atropine that we may or may not use in any timely manner. So we'll most likely end up losing it before we actually use it.
So we used to be on the drug bag program.
Correct. Yep, we came off of that to pursue our own personal drug box program, for lack of better terms. Like I said, it's costing us about $15,000 to $2,000 minimum a year to keep that going. And most of the drugs we end up losing. So.
Because of expiration.
Yeah, expiration. So I'm in the process of working on that. We still got to do a little bit of footwork to get that going, contacts with our medical director, but we have already started getting that ball rolling.
I hear it.
And then just personnel matter involving compensation, and then requesting for executive session.
Is there a motion?
I move that we go to executive session for the 122.15, Section 1, compensation of employee. We just used it last week, so.
At 4:18.
Is there a second?
Or 19?
I second.
Oh, there's a second.
19.
And we'll all vote in favor.
Aye, thank you.
It's 5:19 though.
Thank you, Fred.
Sorry.
We're back. I believe Donna had a question or two for the,
Yeah, this is not from the executive session, but earlier,
let's be perfectly clear, we returned from executive session to the public session with no action taken.
Thank you.
remind me in your report, what is MVC?
Motor vehicle crash. MVA, MVC, we usually use them in like.
Okay.
So.
And I'm curious, on mutual aid, who did we give to and who did we receive from? And
We sent one of our medics mutual aid to Xenia Township, and I believe we received mutual aid from Cedarville, which is usually.
I see nods of confirmation. Thank you. And what's the difference between fire alarm and fire?
Oh, we actually had two fires. We had two brush fires.
And so a fire alarm was a
It's
fire
just
alarm
like
but no fire?
It's like a general call to service.
Brush truck
Fire
working all right?
season.
Did you use it?
Did you guys use the brush truck or the engine the other day?
Brush truck, it worked fine.
Good.
So I actually used both the brush truck and the tanker. So, and then they both operated great. It was actually kind of nice because the one brush fire we had on Pleasant, we actually took the brush truck and drove it into their backyard. So, gave us a better access and reach.
Good. Right here.
I wonder if that's where, as a teenager, I used to drive a Jeep. Sorry.
Anything else for fire?
Nope.
We are good.
Cemetery report?
Good evening.
Coconut?
Since the last meeting, well, meeting before last, we've had 2 burials at Glen Forest, had a full burial and a cremation. And since the last meeting, it's been quiet. We worked on the walking path in the pine forest. I believe we're 90% done. I think we did a little rolling. I thought it turned out pretty decent.
Don and Marilyn, if you haven't had a chance to go out and walk the walking path, I encourage you to check it out.
It just occurred to me, there have been so many changes. Having a public event, just inviting sort of cemetery tour for some late Saturday morning, be kind of cool.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know where our cemetery is and aren't aware that we have a natural burial prairie and oak grove and
Scattering.
area, walking path.
And I've been to different tours, genealogy or history, but they're all in the older part of Glen Forest, so.
Well, that's where most of history is.
Yes, and so.
We're trying to make some history, though.
They'll be walking on our graves in about 50 years, and they'll say, this was Don Hollister, he served in Miami Township for 8 years. Or
Anyway,
maybe longer.
I suggest that we plan a sort of an open house tour.
Well, you can put that on your to-do list.
You want me to do it?
If you suggest.
Okay, I will.
Your project.
Or you could call the township administrator and have him or her help you with it.
You want credit for that idea in 10 years?
Anything else for cemetery?
We're going to work up there tomorrow on the water, try to get the water back on.
one of our water spigots has developed a leak. It did last fall, and we turned the water off, but it's getting to be time to turn the water back on, so he's going to replace that. And the fountain will be operational probably within the next couple weeks, I would think. Speaking of the fountain,
We need something.
was there any agreement, what's the man's name?
JT,
Was JT planning on suggesting plantings and plant them, or just make the suggestions and someone else plant them?
you can do both. And we're meeting out there on Friday,
Okay.
yeah, because it needs it.
Yeah, oh, definitely. At the rate of the amount of work that we've got right in progress and about to start mowing grass, et cetera, it would be great if he could do the planting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. I think that's exactly what he had in mind.
Okay.
Good, 'cause I was going to put in that my report, but now I...
Oh, sorry.
No, it's great. I'm thinking of the same thing.
Anything else for cemetery?
I don't have
Road report?
any. Road report. Finally, we're able to get the trees down that we've been wanting to take down for a while on Hyde Road. And
Oh, you did plant three memorial trees
yeah,
in the
back
Oak
in the
Grove.
cemetery, we planted 3 trees.
Mhm. That was last year's plantings.
We're caught up on that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All the trees that we've been wanting to take down, the dead trees, Hyde Road, Houston Road, Tanyard, gone. Take care of it. So hopefully it won't get called out in the middle of the night.
I wrote Houston here.
Tanyard,
Was it the county or utility company that did an awful lot of trimming over the winter?
that was a utility. Like,
Was it?
yeah, they've been on several of our roads, camped out on actually for days.
Mhm.
Cut a lot.
Yeah, it did.
That kind of helped too, but they only cut so much.
Yeah.
These were possible
Mhm.
fall on the road
Oh,
type
sure.
thing. We got the one on Hyde, the big one, it's gone. So. And what else? I'm going to be taking some time off, the 21st to the 27th. I'll be back the 27th. I'll be gone Friday till the following Thursday. But Brandon's
Basically
here.
a week.
Okay. Brandon's got it covered. He knows what to do. And that's about all I got.
Potholes pretty much up to date?
Yeah, we got a few showed up since the last round. Tanyard Road, we patched all of them, and a bunch more came up, so it's on the list. So I get some cold patch, we take care of it. And then I worked on that today, got it lined up, so we'll be getting some probably Thursday.
Yeah. Anything for the road board? Okay, all your equipment's working?
Yes,
They're
sir.
starting to get maintenance completed?
Yeah, we're done, mowers are serviced,
And
going
seasonal
to tractors
equipment?
now, yeah. We're ready to roll.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item number 9, officer's report. Oh, my God, we got this
And not just in the office, actually just in here.
one. Yeah.
Okay, well, 2024 is closed out, for better or for worse.
It's for better.
And subsequently, the annual Hinkle filing was completed. And
I'm sorry, could you say it again?
the Hinkle filing was completed. H-I-N-K-L-E.
Thank you.
Worked out the workers' comp issue, so that should be squared away for the future for the employees that are on that. I'm trying to utilize the OTA webinars more and a roundtable fiscal officer thing on Friday that I'm doing.
Great.
US Sherry with USDA, I'm at least 80% there, but I'm going to get on the phone with UAN because I'm not sure the other reports, what exactly they're needing. They're not easily generated from UAN, so I'll figure it out with UAN/Sherry to get her exactly what she needs. Let's see, do I have anything else? I guess just with the permit creations you guys are doing next,
Mhm.
which I haven't looked carefully at for your numbers, but I'm just trying to think of, I'm almost 1 year in, so some things that came up last year, I don't know if those were special circumstances, if those are things to expect every year. Like, I'm trying to think of when we did a lot, but when we had to add appropriations and making more resolutions. Big ones that came up, I think they were for cemetery, and I don't know if those are one-time things. Ray Hensley, John Deere, they were both at least 30,000.
Mhm.
And so are those things to expect again this summer?
No.
No, okay. I just wanted to
Yeah.
take those things into account.
We won't, because we're not doing that this year.
We're not contracting with Ray Hensley for anything at the moment, right?
No.
No. And fingers crossed, the equipment is going to last through this year.
Okay.
If it doesn't, then we'll have another expense, but it's not an ongoing expense. And we've tried to put that into context with the permanent appropriations,
Okay, great.
trying to make sure that, we didn't have some huge, $100,000 appropriation for a truck that we've already purchased.
Right.
That sort of thing.
And Fred also, I mean, is a new, so two-thirds fire, one-third, I mean, just that I think that we have been putting those under like.
It's 2575.
25 right, three-quarters, not a third. I don't know, contracted services or something?
Contracted
services. Yeah.
Yeah, so just all that for the rest of the year, however much was contracted, because sometimes we've had to add funds to pay him too.
Yeah.
So just,
Yeah.
those are just things. Try to keep my head down, because there are things we're supposed
do a
to.
good job of appropriating, so we don't have to make a lot of changes.
Well, because also I've learned the things I'm supposed to do whenever we change an appropriation, just so that I don't have to do that as often. I'm just trying to have us be,
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll still happen, but
Yeah.
I was looking at some of the big expenses last year that came up, so I didn't know if those would be expected again. So you answered that question. That's all I have, I think.
Okay.
Well, I want to congratulate you on 1 year, and getting that 2024 closed was heroic. You really came into a very challenging situation, and we got it done. It was
And next year will be better.
Smooth sailing from now on.
Sure.
With that, we could throw in some, no, we won't. I will entertain a motion to adopt permanent appropriations as presented for 2025.
I so move.
And I second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion regarding those appropriations? Hearing none, may we vote, please?
This is on a resolution?
This is a resolution.
That's why I'm asking, there was no number.
This is a motion. Do we need a resolution as presented?
Yes, we do. What would be that number?
2025-09?
So that would be 2025-09. We have a motion and a second for resolution 2025-09 on the table. Moved and
That's okay.
seconded.
Okay.
May we vote, please?
It's been moved and seconded to adopt resolution 2025-09, permanent appropriations. Mr. Hollister?
Yes.
Ms. Moyer?
Yes.
Mr. Mucher?
Yes.
Resolution is adopted.
Anything else for fiscal officer? We have our bank balances. Just fine. Item number 10, zoning administrator report. We are going to discuss the temporary solar exclusionary zone, which is in force at the moment for portions of Miami Township, and expires, what did we say, July? Is that what you said?
July 27th.
July 27th. It's been recommended or requested that we consider extending this for an unspecified period of time. Is there any?
Indefinitely, I would say, that is, instead of unspecified period of time.
I mean, permanently.
Yeah. And this is, as I recall, the wording was southeast of
South and
Little
east.
Miami River. That,
Are we south and east?
and it's the county commission has, or the county administrator pointed out that it's going to be expiring in
Mhm.
When did he point that out?
that was in conversation with me.
Oh,
Who brought it?
Jennifer Adams brought it to our attention
Right.
and requested it. Are we already in discussion, or do we have to move in second? Would you like to discuss?
Oh, sure, we can discuss this.
So I have the resolution that the Greene County Board of Commission, I want to remind us that we first did this, you know, the state has House Bill 152, I believe, was it 152? Gave the county commission the ability to make exclusion zones in the county, places in their county that they say you can't build solar there. And
For sizes below 50 megawatt.
No,
above the industrial stuff.
You're right, above.
The commission at the time, which I still think is the same body, and no one's been reelected, they
Actually,
said,
there's been one change in.
One change,
in the
okay.
commission.
they decided that they were going to let the townships decide. They weren't going to do anything unless the township came and asked them. And several of them asked to have their whole township excluded from solar. And the reason I went along with this and actually wrote it was the people, and now we're talking about the area that's in Kingwood, where Kingwood is near Cedarville, where the big Kingwood development is actually being, was turned down, and that ruling is being appealed, and it's going to be heard.
Supreme Court heard it last week.
Okay, but they're grandfathered in. This doesn't apply to them. However, that whole area, at the time, I remember the reasons we gave. The neighbors had been through a big battle, and they were weary, and the Little Miami Scenic people, Hope Task Group, had some concerns, and other people had concerns, and we thought we'd give ourselves time to look into some of their concerns. I personally have looked into those concerns, and I personally don't support the exclusion anymore, but it's a 3-person vote. And so what we would need to do, at the time, the Greene County Commission said, don't send us anything if you haven't had a public hearing.
Right.
So I'm assuming that that is still their expectation.
I would not want to submit to them without another public hearing.
I wouldn't, I think having a public hearing is a good idea, it's almost always a good idea. A public hearing, but I haven't heard them say that it's necessary. That doesn't matter. So if we were to organize a meeting about this, I think they have to go through a process also.
Right.
So the sooner the better.
Right.
Sometime during April, let's have a review of this.
Let's see, I don't want to take your chair away. They do have like a 30-day, after we have to write a resolution. We have to have a public hearing, give them data, a resolution, and send it to them. But what I want to ask you guys is, do we vote now to say if we even want to pursue this? Or is it a given that we're going to pursue this? Obviously, we're going to have to vote when we have a resolution. But
I think that's premature. I think we'd like to hear from the public.
oh yes, I mean, but I'm trying to find out, if none of us wanted to go forward with the exclusion zone, we wouldn't even pursue it. Do we need to vote on that?
Well, I'd be comfortable making a motion to have, I don't know that it needs to be technically a hearing, but call it whatever you want, about the issue of renewing, I would say a permanent renewal of the exclusion zone.
We might be getting ahead of ourselves, but I would not be in favor of a permanent renewal. I don't think boards of township trustees really should make anything permanent. It's out of our scope.
Well, I mean, you could
Sure,
argue
it
that
is.
zoning isn't permanent. because we
Everything
can-
can be changed, I understand that, but to make the assumption going in that it's permanent,
Okay,
I don't think there's teeth in that.
the point is to have a public meeting about the issue,
Right.
and to do it with the wording that would fit the county commission's desires and process. I don't think our process is defined, is statutorily required, whether we call it a motion, a resolution, a hearing, or a public airing. It's the county commission that is going to be more.
Right, we're following their directive.
Or we don't have to follow their directive. No, they're not saying, give us something. My point was, do we want to let it expire, or do we want to have a hearing to see if the people want it to keep going?
Right.
I mean, I don't,
I want to have a hearing.
but that's okay.
I want to have an event where it's publicly discussed. Do we want to
And
continue
I
this or
hope
not?
that event has plenty of advertising, and we don't just say, okay, it's a public, and we show up today. I hope that it's truly, the stakeholders are made aware.
Well, why don't we pick a date? An evening, a weekday evening during later April?
The calendar seems relatively free, other than the third Tuesday evening.
Third Tuesday on April will be tax day.
Well,
First Tuesday in April might be a zoning commission day too.
It is for this one, yeah.
but they went to the 4th.
They did, but not in April and May.
Oh,
I know, it's weird.
How about a Wednesday evening, the 16th?
It's the week before Easter. When do Easter,
I'll be out of town.
when do Easter events come into play? Easter is the 20th.
23rd?
Easter is the 20th.
Oh, the 20th.
So you'd think that there'd be Easter events on the 16th?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking. I have lost track of that calendar, it's not.
I'll be out of town then, but, you know.
Well, out of town then on the 16th, or out of town then on the 20th?
Well, 17th, I'll be back the 17th. We don't have to decide here.
Is it okay if I organize a date without our having a vote?
There is a motion on the table to hold a hearing.
We don't have to vote on the date, do we?
I don't think so.
We just have to announce it to the people.
Okay. Well, remind me,
I would, given the discussion, I would suggest that what your motion intent was to hold a public hearing, read the potential extension of the exclusion zone. Is that
Is there-
what I'm hearing?
Yes, but
Okay. That is the.
I don't know why we can't set a date, or tentative date.
You just seem to close a calendar for a while.
I'll open it again.
But are we voting to see if we're even doing the darn thing?
I have a second on the motion, so I can't answer that.
All right, I'll second it then.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, may we vote, please?
It's been moved and seconded to hold a public hearing re a potential extension of the solar exclusion zone. Mr. Hollister?
Wait a minute,
Okay.
I'm not finished this.
Okay.
So it doesn't bother you that we're not setting a date yet? It's okay if I go ahead and talk with you folks about a date and we announce it later this week?
No, we won't announce it probably later this week. We might announce it at our next meeting.
Or in the paper, or on a website, on Facebook?
That would still give us 2 weeks, okay?
What's the date?
I'd love to begin in May, but
How about the evening of May 6th? It's a Tuesday.
It's election day.
How did I forget that? Evening of Wednesday, the 7th?
I believe I would be available.
sure.
So I would like to amend this motion.
Such that if we
to
find out
include-
we're not available, we can't change it?
Well, then we have another motion, change it. I think it's better to have the date clear, rolling.
We have another motion when, Don? At the next meeting? If we leave it open, we have flexibility. But
Okay,
if you want the 7th, we'll do the 7th.
I'll drop the date. No amendment to the motion.
Been moved and seconded to hold a public hearing re a potential extension of the exclusion zone, date to be determined.
There we go.
Mr. Hollister?
Yes.
Ms. Mutcher?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Moving right along. I see under zoning, we also have a request for an executive session. And I don't have the Ohio Revised Code for employee performance. But it's in there somewhere.
Oh. Section, I think it's section 1 again.
It's the same section, just additional wording from that section.
I see.
So, and I'm sorry, but it is for employee performance.
Yes. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Can we vote, please?
Moved and seconded to hold an executive session and then discuss the matter of employee performance. Mr. Mutcher?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Hollister?
Yes.
4:54, 5:54.
6:10. And no action as a result of that meeting. Where are you going?
Right, stay.
No, go. Go. Where?
You don't need me there, right?
No, we'll find you now. Item number 11, standing committee reports, NVRPC.
I didn't go this month. And
Is anyone else going to their annual
I was going to
meeting?
ask you the same thing. They have that big dinner they have.
I'm planning to go.
I'm thinking about it.
Wise Development Corporation?
I have become their treasurer.
I was that once.
Were you?
Yeah, for about a week.
That's when we got the big checks. Anything new? They're just, nothing that I want to report on. They've hired a new person. We're out of the gates trying to.
This is our contribution new person, or is this another new person? Is this the economic development person?
It is that position. They had one, that person
Yeah.
didn't go to what, it is that position. Our contribution, they asked us, they had the idea to bring that person into the village and give them a split job. And so they gave our contribution back to us.
Let me hear that again. They returned $10,000. Okay.
Okay.
Well, they didn't get it.
They didn't get it, but they said,
Okay.
they got this idea, they needed other things done in that office. Why don't we, this is 20 hours, why don't we combine this with a full-time position? Why don't we put it under the umbrella of the village?
Otherwise, even with that, you get advertising and stuff, but it's simpler to do that sometimes than trying to send the whole.
Have we exhausted the natural burial
I'll try to send you the things I've been reading about.
portion, or is there more to that?
That's all, we're meeting out there and meeting with JT.
Maybe I should send that to
other people,
Scott too, isn't he keeping them?
Making a plan for this year, what we want to look at, and specifically about that area. What were your thoughts about that area? It's a whole round with the scatter garden in the pond, just make it more
Visually
inviting.
Yeah, I had some specific.
Okay. I'll make that a priority, because I think that's a good, we want people to feel good when they come there.
Yeah. Apparently I've made an executive decision that I probably should have passed on to you. I forgot about your committee. Kind of, sort of. I've asked Dan to mow the prairie.
How much of the prairie?
All of it. He would take the second or third week in April, more likely the third.
Well,
This is on the recommendation of a prairie expert that we had give us a little consultation last year. And we can't do a fire.
yeah. It's the second week in April when, we have a meeting April 1st, right?
No,
Seven.
that is a trustee meeting?
Yeah.
Yes.
April 7th.
Before the mow? Yeah, I think there's some mowing needed. I'll check in to see if it's a good idea to do the whole thing at once or leave some, if this is what your prairie person says, or leave some.
Wait, once the weeds get high enough, because the weeds will come up first, prairie grass doesn't even really start to grow until June or July. But once the weeds get up high enough that they may start to pod or whatever, or flower or whatever the deal is.
Get them.
Get them then.
Get them. Okay.
And I just figured that would be the whole thing, as opposed to 2/3 of it or a third of it or something.
Okay. Well,
And he's done that before. I don't know if that was while you were here, but he has mowed it before.
okay. Can I check in with my prairie folks
Sure.
and see?
Oh, absolutely.
I know in a burn, one of the things, in a burn, you don't want to burn it all and take all of your, anything that's going to repopulate it. You don't take all your seed stock out or your root stock or something all at once. I don't know. I'll just check into it.
We've always burned everything.
Yeah, and I think we had gotten advice that burn portions at a time, but okay. Let's confirm that on April 1st?
Okay. That's 7.
Just let me know what to do.
What'd you say?
Just let me know what to do.
Oh, okay. Don't worry. Do
Yeah,
not
don't worry. Everybody's worried about two trustees wanting two different things, but that's not the case here.
You can sleep well tonight. It's
Oh,
okay.
I will.
Okay. Regional Planning Coordinating Commission, we met briefly last month, earlier this month. And it really, it was more budget. There was one final plan for a 9-section development in Beaver Creek, and this was for section 5. And it was totally 100% in compliance with all the rules and regulations, so that took like 30 seconds. And then we talked about a national meeting that Deandra is going to go to in Denver, I think next week. That was about it. It was, realistically, I mean, we had the full commission there, 21 members, and because of this project that was on the board, there were like 5 people from the developers and the parcel owner, and everybody, the place was packed, and boy, we cleared the house pretty quick. So, Clifton Union Cemetery.
Nothing new. I mean, there have been some burials, but no board meeting.
Green Township Association.
I went to their meeting. We had it out at that, what's the name of that place? I was blown away by it.
Athletes in Action.
Yeah, they really have a lot going on there. I mean, nationally and regionally, and the number, it's in Xenia, the number of people that come in there for trainings and camps and everything is really amazing. I had no idea they even existed, so.
So, former Ohio Soldiers and Sailors Orphanage.
And there was some township business that is very important to share here.
Okay. Last but not least, Active Transportation Committee.
They're starting a bicycle to school thing again, where we're every Wednesday, people, adults leave kids in on bikes and try to teach them to become bike people. And then we're having April 5th, I believe, our fire, we're going to have there's going to be a bike safety kind of event, and we've been asked to have a EMT or paramedic out there to talk to the kids about what to do if you have a bike accident out alone by yourself or with a friend.
That's great that we're maintaining our relationship with the schools and with the community in public, not just in private in somebody's house in their bedroom.
Yeah.
Item number 10, new business, which we took care of earlier about the cybersecurity agreement. Anybody want to add anything to that, just while they were thinking? No?
Yes, what's our timeline on that? You're going to take their proposal to Rebecca and see if they want to make, see if they want to make us an offer, not just of money, but or a vision of what they would do before are given. I guess if they see their proposal or their contract, they'll have an idea of what we're looking for. So
I'll do it tomorrow,
and then we'll talk about it at our next meeting.
or I'll start it tomorrow, and we'll pass it on tomorrow.
Any old business this evening? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I shall move.
And I
We
second.
have a motion, will be adjourned by acclamation. With reluctance. That is,